Alrighty. um, oh, my name is Bradley Palmer, and I just wanted to show off real quick a demo of my adding students to a classroom list that I've made in Java. So here's the coding. I have it up in Replit just for simplicity of running it and everything. So this is my main file. We'll get to that in a second. So first we have the actual students themselves, which are going to be stored in an array. We use scanners to get the inputs. These two aren't actually needed, but they were needed in other files, and so I had it in there to test some certain things that are no longer there. So we have the string variable of name, and then this takes the student's name that the user will input, and we'll show that once we get into main, and stores it in this variable, and then we have a way to display the name outputted if we need to, and then a way to return the name so that classroom can access, so that we can see it within the classroom class in Java. Because if we don't return it somewhere in here, then it's a private variable, and we're just going to get like an address, and we're not going to get the actual the actual variable itself. Then in classroom, we have have some unnecessaries that I didn't. But we have the classroom as an array to set up both just an initial class size, so how big the class is, essentially how many students a teacher can add to the class, and then the students that fill up those spots. So we have here initializing the class size and creating the fully initializing the students array. And then in here we have how things are going to be added, how students are going to be added to the classroom. So there's just the regular, here's what we want you to do normally, which is adding students to the classroom. But if the size of students, so if we've reached the size of students that equals the class size, then we can't add that student into the class. And then we want to be able to display the students out at the end here. And so for that, we started off with a nice hyphen, so just to get it looking nice at the start. And then for most of it, it takes for student and students, puts it into this thing called result, and we'll put the name and then a comma and then a space. But once it gets to the end, which right now it's hard-coded, one of the extended goals that I'm going to be working on past this is getting the teacher to be able to input the class size themselves. And so that will take essentially the end of our array and put a period at the end of it instead of the comma and the space. And then it takes all of that and then outputs it as a string there. And then we use this to set up the classroom size, in addition to that one up there. for when, so this one's going to be used when we let the teacher input the class size themselves, and then obviously this to return it so that we can have access to it in other places. And then we have in the main here, we this is where obviously we run the main bit of the code. We import the utility scanner so that we are able to scan user input and take it in. So they're able to, so we initialize the classroom itself right here and set up how many are in the classroom, the max size of it. And then we ask the user to input the names of the students. And again, this is hard-coded right now, but the hope is that the teacher is able to put in how many are in the class, and then it will loop that many times. And then, so it goes through all those, and then it adds the students and displays them. And I have it going one more than can actually hold in the array, just to make sure that my error message works. So we're going to use characters from a video game that I like to fill up the classroom. So Sora, Kairi, Riku, Terra, Aqua, Ventus, and then Mickey Mouse is also in here. But he doesn't quite fit the bill as the rest of these, does he? Well, it's okay because he's the 7th one. So when we hit enter here, it says the class is full, tell the student to find another. So Mickey doesn't get included in our array here. And we just have Sora, Kairi, Riku, Terra, Aqua, and Ventus. So there you have those. And we have our full list of students in the classroom. And that is pretty much it for this. And like I said, what I'm trying to work on, what I'll be working on when I can, is getting the user to input, the teacher to input themselves. It's basically a way for teachers to keep track of who's in their classroom, add students in, and then obviously at some point create a tool to remove students out and store all this in a file, as opposed to it being an array that only exists while the program is running. But this is my basic Java program for now. And yeah,